Hello and welcome to this week's tutorial. We will tackle this balloon text animation. Really cool stuff. So yeah, let's begin. The first thing you want to do, you want to add some text. I'm just gonna write down my channel name. You can do whatever you want. And I will change the font. I will use the same one as last week. So just go to text menu, font, and then regular, and then I'm just gonna write down chubby regular. That's the one I use, linked in the description below. You want to right click on your text, convert to mesh, edit mode, select everything, extrude. There we go. Okay, we need some geometry to do this, so just apply a remesh modifier like this, and you want to lower the voxel size until the letters are not connected anymore, right? So I'm just gonna go down, 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 like this. And now we have, if we apply this, you can see we have a nice geometry and evenly distributed faces. Okay. So since I want like one letter after another to pop up, basically, we need to separate this, like the letters, right? And I have 4 letters, so I need to make 3 more copies, like this. And a quick tip, if you select anything in Blender and you hit Shift-H, you can hide anything but the object you selected. So I will rename this as well. So I'm gonna hit F2, another shortcut to keep in mind. The one to rename stuff, I'm just gonna call this J, because it's going to be the first letter. And then I switch into edit mode. I go into wireframe mode, and then I select the letter I want to separate, like this. And now if you hit Control I, you can invert your selection and just delete the rest. And I will do this for every single letter. Okay. There we go. I will rename this as well. And now you can see we have every single letter by itself. And now we can apply the cloth sim. Before that, I will add a plane. So we have something to interact with, like the letters. And you need to also check, if you go to physics properties, you need to check collision. So they actually interact with the ground. Okay, I go to the first letter. I go to cloth sim, I scroll down. You want to check pressure and also custom volume. So we will use those 3 values to achieve this effect. If you really want to know every single detail about this, just hover over the values and read the description. Okay. For the first one, I will just put everything to 0. And I will go to like frame 20 and I will keyframe this. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, works. Now we have a completely flat text. Great. I wanted to like inflate. So let's skip ahead like 5 frames maybe. And I'm just gonna put the pressure to like 30, target volume to 15. And pressure scale to 10 maybe. And I will keyframe this. And after that, I will go to frame 30 and I will put this back to 10, 5, and pressure scale to 2. And you want to keyframe this as well. This is different for you, just play around with the values till you achieve something that looks good to you. So if I replay this, you can see flat text, it gets pumped up, and it gets like normal pressure again, right? So it's really big here, and then it kind of like deflates a little bit, and then it just rests in this state. Okay, first problem we encounter, our text is just bouncing. And if you think this is cool, I mean, it is cool, don't get me wrong. I think this definitely has something, but I want the letter to stay like static, right? To stay in place. Okay. So in order to do this, select your letter, you know, in object mode, and go to you go to, what's the name? Object data properties. And then just hit like new, and make a new vertex group and call this pin group, okay? There we go. And now you want to go under your text, right? So I'm just gonna, another really cool shortcut, if you hit Alt, like if you hold Alt and you like drag your middle mouse, it's the same thing as like playing around with the like numpad thing, right? So I use this all the time. I think it's pretty handy. Yeah. Okay. Just go below your text, and now we want to select a bunch of vertices, but only on the bottom side of your text, okay? So right now I see everything. I don't want this, so I switch to the other mode, so I can't see. So I only can see like one side of the text basically. So I need to hide the plane. And I will select a bunch of vertices like this. There we go. And the pin group is selected in the vertex group, really important. And now just hit assign, okay? And now basically what we did, if I play this back, you know, it's still the way it was before. But if I go into the physics properties now and I scroll down to shape, I can select a pin group. And what a pin group does, I will show you. Bam, you know, it stays in place because it uses the vertices we just selected as a pin. Obviously, that's why it's called pin group. So that's what I want, right? Pretty cool. I will like do this for every letter. So I will continue with this one, and I want to offset this a little bit, right? So we have some, you know, like I said earlier, they will like pop up after another. And I will do the offsetting by maybe like 3 frames, maybe like 4. So I will start this one at frame maybe like 23, okay? So I will do the same thing. I go to cloth, scroll down, take pressure, custom volume, and I put this to 0, and I keyframe it. I go like 5 frames ahead, so like frame 28. Put this to 30, 15, and 10. Keyframe this. I go to frame 33 and put this to 10, 5, and 2. Okay. Keep in mind, this is, you know, play around with these values to your liking. You really have to tweak it till it works for you, basically. Okay, so let me see how this looks. Maybe I do 4 frames of offset, right? So I grab everything and I just drag it 1 frame to the right. I think that's cool. Okay, I will just do a vertex group for this. Pin group, select a bunch of vertices, and make a new group. Oh, I forgot. Assign to the pin group. Go to physics properties, scroll down, pin group, pin group. There we go. Now everything is nice and static. Cool. And I will do the same thing with those 2 letters. So we are pretty much done with this part. By the way, obviously, our text should like interact with each other, right? Like the letters. And you can do that if you just select everything and you just add modifier collision. Where is it? No, wait, that's the physics properties. So you go to physics properties and you hit collision, and now they will interact with each other. And you can really change the quality of the collision by changing the collision. If you go to the physics properties in the cloth sim and you scroll down, you go to collision, and then you can like step up the quality to like 10 maybe. So I will do that on every single ladder. There you go. Like this. And otherwise, I mean, we can just amp up the quality in general, I think. This will help because, you know, better quality means it looks better. Okay, so if I play this back, it's really laggy, so you can tell that PC really has to like do hard work, so that's always good. Yes. Wait. Are they? No, right? Ah, okay. So, okay, I messed up. So you really have to select like each single like ladder, and you really have to give every single ladder a collision. I thought you can just group select them and it will work, but it didn't. Now it should work. But this is really laggy, so I will just select one, scroll down to cache. Where is it? Cache. And now we'll just set the duration of like the frame range I want to like render, basically, like baking, obviously. So I think in my case 130 frames is enough. So I'll put this to 130. Also put my my scene to 130 frames, and I will select everything and I hit bake. The bake is done. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, see, now they really like push each other and stuff. Alright, so yeah, the sim part is basically done. The next step is to export this as an Alembic file, okay? And I will show you why. Because it's stuck in a bake, right? It got baked and it's stuck in that simulation, in that bake, okay? And we can basically bypass this problem by just exporting this as an Alembic file. So you want to, first of all, maybe we can also just apply an subdivision surface. So select everything and just hit Control 2, and that will apply a subdivision surface modifier with a level of 2 to every single a ladder. Okay, so it looks better. Okay, maybe you can shade smooth as well. All right. Now you select everything, and you go to File, Export, and you export it as you export it as an Alembic file. And you want to select selected objects only. Also, subdivisions apply. Okay, and you want to uncheck this stuff here and save it. I'm just gonna call it balloon text tutorial and export it. And this can take a while depending on how heavy your scene is, but yeah, just be patient. Okay, so it's exported, and I will just select the original letters, and I will just hide them. And now I go to File, Import, and I will select my Alembic file that I just created, and I will import it. There we go. And now you can see if I play this back, it's our animation, but I can I don't know why I just sing for some reason, but I can actually scale this now and transform it in any way, shape or form, which is really nice. So we will take this animation now and we will transform it a little bit more. So we will scale it, and maybe we add some rotation, and then we will do some materials for this as well. Okay, so you want to add an empty, okay, and this is basically the controller of the ladder. Okay, so you want to put this in the middle of the ladder, and you can just eyeball this, and you select the ladder, you select an empty, you select the empty, and then you just hit Control P, object, keep transform. And same thing here, just add an empty. And then just select the object, shift select the empty, Control P, keep transform, and you do this with every single letter. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we can actually control this. Like we can control each letter now, and we can, you know, we can rotate them. We can do whatever. We can go crazy. So for this one, I want basically, like, I know this starts at frame 20, and the climax is, I think, at frame 24, if I'm not mistaken. So here I want to animate the scaling and the rotation. So I hit I, scale and rotation, and I put this maybe like one frame, or like, yeah, one frame after the climax, so at 25. And I go back to the first frame of this, like depending on what makes sense for your ladder, right? So in my case, maybe, you know, maybe like maybe like 90, yeah, something like this. And then I just gonna like scale it down as well. And I will keyframe this, rotation and scale. And if I now play it, you can see I have this. Okay. So maybe I play around with the timing, you know, and maybe I can, you can select the keyframes as well, hit T, and change the interpolation so it's smoother when I put this to Bezier. It's like easing in After Effects, basically. You know, something like this maybe. This looks cool, I think. You know. And maybe I put this back. Like at this point, it's just, you know, trying out stuff, see what looks cool, and really just do your thing, okay? Okay, so I think this is fine for now. And I will do the same thing with this ladder. And I will just grab the empty. I think this ladder starts at frame 24. So I will just, I think for this one I will just scale it. So the climax should be at frame 29 or something. So I'll put scaling, and I go back to 24, put this to 0, I scale, and there we go. Same thing here. Always go to the climax first, because then it's easier, you know, just keyframe the state that it should have at the end, and then you can do whatever you want. So I'm just gonna scale it. I'm just gonna keyframe it here. Rotation and scale. Go back, and then just rotate this, and also scale it to 0, and then hit I, rotation, scale, and there we go. I think I will just keyframe the scaling of this. So I will just put it to 0, scale, and there we go. Okay, so we have some extra animation as well on top. I will now like just, you know, add a plane. I will add some lights. So I'm just gonna add an area light. Rotate this. Put this to maybe like 200. Like this. Put it to cycles, GPU compute. Maybe I change the size of things. Maybe it's not that bright, maybe like 50. Same thing on the other side. Rotate it 180 degrees. put my camera here, and now I will just add a really basic material to the plane. So I'm just gonna make this like cyan color, and then for the text I will use this like, yeah, red color, I think, like this. I just copy the hex code. No, wait, what? I'm not copying the hex code. I will just select the object. That's way easier. Okay, yeah. So you can play around with the metallic side of things as well, and bring down the roughness. Bring up the roughness, or bring it down. Okay, something like this. I mean, that's a really basic scene, and you like could, you know, yeah. I mean, you can play around with lights and stuff way more than this. But that's basically it, guys, right? So if you enjoyed this tutorial, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. And I see you guys next week.